Hello, everybody. It's time for our week 11 announcements for Astronomy 151. We are moving along. We have exam number 2 this week. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. And I'll give you the announcements that we have for week 11. I'll give you the assignments that we have for week 11. And then I want to give you a little bit of update about the success of the sample collection done by OSIRIS-REx. Which was in the news cycle last week. Super excited about all this. We'll actually take a look at the video of the sample collection and talk about the current status of securing that sample. Okay, so the big thing happening in week 11, of course, is exam number 2 is this week. It's happening today. Looks like about 15-ish% of you have already taken the exam at the time of recording this on Monday, the 26th of October. And so far, I'm pretty excited to see the results coming in. And as always, tonight and tomorrow, I'll be looking over all the results for exam 2, and I'll be putting together the most missed concepts, a little bit of information about that, and I'll be opening up a discussion so we can converse back and forth to help you get to where you need to be to improve if you choose to take your second attempt on Thursday. So as always, the second attempt is optional. You can take it in an attempt to improve your grade, but if you're happy with your first attempt score, you're probably better off just leaving things as it is. However, it is a great opportunity for you to earn points back on the questions that you had missed, the concepts you had missed. All right, so next week we have quiz 5. We're in the pipeline of the semester, is sort of just go, go, go until we cross the finish line right now. It's just a little bit difficult with a condensed schedule. We just have to deal with it. But that means that quiz 5 is next week, and quiz 6 is the week after that, and then exam 3 is the week after that, and then apparently it's Thanksgiving, uh, and that is the end of the semester. So we're almost there. Just stick with me for this last little bit of a charge. So I have the quiz 5 hints there on Canvas, and what is it going to cover? Is going to cover the last little bit that I decided was a little bit too broad of material to throw onto exam 2. So we have unit 2, part 2, about planetary differentiation and the loss of the primary atmosphere. While that is great material, we covered it. We've already covered it. We covered it last week. I figured that it's better to put that on quiz 5 and not to put it on exam 2. So that will be appearing on quiz 5. Make sure that you study that material. It is from last week. And then we have material that we'll be covering this week, and that's going to be Unit 2, Part 3. We have Earth's interior, we have Earth's changing surface, and I'm going to put Earth's atmosphere on there. And that's where I'm going to cut it. There's not going to be anything about like climate change on there. So that is what quiz 5 is going to be covered. If you want more specifics, go see the quiz hints. That is where you're going to get all the information that you really need to help you study for quiz 5 next week. That's week 12 on the schedule. We have the 2 extra credit opportunities that are available. I've started to see some of these start trickling in. I have 2 different opportunities currently available. They are essays that you write about either a NASA mission or a famous astronomer, physicist, astrophysicist, living or dead, that you can write about, and you have to relate it to why that person or that mission is relevant to the class. There are detailed instructions if you go look at the extra credit opportunities, and each time you complete one of those, you can do each one of these 2 times, and each time you complete it, it's worth, as long as you meet all the requirements, you get a 1.5 added to your final grade in this class. That is a huge, huge amount of credit that's being added to your final average in this class. So let's say it's rolling around and it's the end of the semester, you have a 86 in this class, but you really wanted that A to really boost your GPA. So you could do 4 of these essays, 2 different missions, 2 different astronomers, and that would give you, I put a total at +5 is the most extra credit you can earn, half a letter grade, but that'll earn you +5% added to your final average, which would bump your 86 to a 91, which gets you an A in the class. So a half of a letter grade is earnable in extra credit. Make sure you check those out. Think about doing them. They do take a good bit of work and research, and yes, you have to provide references, but they are worth a significant portion added to your final grade. What do we have? Oh, yeah. And then, of course, don't forget about my office hours. Since I've been announcing this weekly, I've seen a uptick in the number of people visiting me. Thank you if you stopped by to say hello. I've really enjoyed our conversations. These are times whenever you can come talk to me in a live session on Zoom. The links are on the syllabus, and you can ask me anything about exam two, say if you want to pop in this week, or you can ask me about upcoming quiz five. You can ask me about course content, astronomy in general. Maybe you just want to say hello so I know who you are. And it's just great to, interact with the people that you're taking a class with. So I'm available twice per week on Zoom. Look at the syllabus for the link and the times. And I hope to meet some of you that I haven't met yet in my office hours. All right, what do we have for assignments? It's an exam week, so I try to keep things light on exam week. So there's no homework due. We just have the week 11 engagement exercise that'll be due, as always, on Sunday. And that Sunday puts us at the 1st of November. How is it November already? I have no clue because time is just meaningless these days, apparently. But yes, Sunday is the 1st of November, and the week 11 engagement exercise will be due that day. I expect to have the question set released by Thursday evening. So far, over the past 10 weeks, I haven't missed that deadline yet, and I don't plan on starting to miss that deadline today. So expect Thursday evening for the engagement exercise. And again, you'll get an infinite number of tries. I also want to let you know that we have a homework assignment on the horizon, which I'll make available to you either today or tomorrow, depending on how busy I am. Uh, but in week 12, that's next week, we will have homework number 8 due, which is all about Unit 2, Part 3, the Earth. I only do 9 assignments, I believe, for this class. I'll have to double check that. I don't plan on modifying things. We've all had a little bit of a struggle since this semester is so hectic. Uh, but I think this is the second to last homework assignment. It is going to be due a week from this Wednesday, the 4th of November at 11:59 p.m. And we will finish up the material on the Earth this week. So you'll have plenty of experience with it. And I highly encourage you to get to work on that homework and complete it before you take your first attempt on quiz 5, because quiz 5 covers material related to the Earth. So you'll be doing yourself a favor by doing the homework. Uh, the homework is a little bit broader than the quiz. But again, I encourage you to get things done early. Okay, and now I want to share with you because OSIRIS-REx had a successful mission, almost too much of a success. So OSIRIS-REx is a spacecraft that has been in orbit around this asteroid called Bennu. It's a pretty small asteroid, about half a kilometer in diameter. It's a near Earth asteroid. And essentially, this is what we call a rubble pile asteroid. It's basically just a bunch of boulders that are held together by gravity. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to collect a sample from the surface. So we had the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft, which had this arm on it with a sample collection uh, container on the end of it. It descended to the surface of the asteroid and what we call a touch and go, a tag, and it hit the surface of the asteroid, fired some nitrogen from gas canisters, which then scared up a bunch of material and put it into the container. So let's just watch that in this video right here of the actual sample collection event. These are real images from the spacecraft descending to the surface of the asteroid, makes contact, collects a sample, and gets out of there. The entire time of contact, I think, was on the order of 6 to 10 seconds or so. So you're seeing just image, image, image. You can't take images. It's not a live feed video. We don't have the kind of bandwidth to send that kind of information back. But there it was. And it was a successful collection. In fact, it was almost too successful because you might have heard that it's so full that the closing latch mechanism can't latch because there's too much material there. So currently it is leaking some of the sample back to space, which you can see here. Here's the sample collection head. You can see some of that wonderful sample that was collected is escaping to space. They suspect they've collected over 2 ounces, which is well beyond what they hope to do, even they had up to 3 chances to do a successful sample collection. Looks like they nailed it in 1, a little bit too much. They do have a plan to get that closed and latched so it doesn't leak out any more of this precious sample. And hopefully that'll be secured very, very soon. But if you're looking at all the problems that we could have with OSIRIS-REx, collecting more than expected sample is not really a big one. It's something that needs to be solved because we don't want to lose all the sample. Then we'd have to try again. But it is, on the scale of things, it's not the worst problem in the world to do a better job than you expected and then have a unforeseen thing. We had no idea of what the mechanical surface properties of the asteroid would be. We had no idea if this method would actually be successful or not. People had hoped. We had done all the tests that we possibly could to make sure it would work, but there are a lot of unknown variables, like how strong is the surface of the asteroid, how big are the actual grains on the asteroid. All of that will have an effect on how well this sample collection technique could use. And you can't know those things until you actually get there and you try it. And since this hasn't really been done before, it's a learning experience. Seems to work out pretty well. And now we will have a sample of this asteroid return to Earth in 2023. And this material that you see coming off the asteroid is mostly silicate rock, but also contains interesting things like the organics that were forming 4.6 billion years ago when we were first starting to build the solid things in our solar system. And they have just been preserved in this asteroid for about the past 4.6 billion years. So we are getting a return of the ingredient list out of which we built the outer solar system bodies out past the region where you could actually form organic material, which then at some point had to get delivered to the inner parts of the solar system because here we have it at Earth. All right, so a little bit of bonus in the announcements and the assignments. I hope you've been paying attention to the OSIRIS-REx mission. I am super excited about it, and I will see you in this week's videos.